Hey everyone, and welcome. Get ready, because today we are diving deep into the world of Stradivarius instruments.
Yeah, we're talking those legendary violins and cellos, the ones you hear about going for millions at auction.
Exactly. But is it all hype? What's the real story behind these instruments and their reputation? Yeah, that's what we're here to find out.
And we've got some great resources to help us dig into this.
Right. We're looking at Wikipedia entries on both Antonio Stradivari himself and then, of course, Stradivarius instruments as well. Plus, we've got some really interesting insights from the Smithsonian Institution about the violin specifically.
Should be fascinating to see what we find.
Definitely. So I think everyone's heard the name Stradivari, but his own life story has some interesting gaps, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It almost feels like you're trying to piece together a puzzle,
Yeah.
but you don't have all the pieces.
Like some are missing.
Exactly.
And to illustrate that, I mean, even his birth date is something that's debated.
It really is. Some historians think it was 1644. Others place it as late as 1649. So, I mean, it's kind of a good reminder that even with these huge iconic figures like Stradivari, there's an air of mystery, right?
Makes you wonder what else we might not know,
Yeah.
But one thing we do know is that he came from Cremona, Italy, which, I mean, when you think violins, you think Cremona, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's practically synonymous with violin making.
Exactly.
And his family, they had deep roots there.
Generations, right?
Well, yeah, generations deep. I mean, their presence in Cremona goes back centuries. And I think what's so fascinating is how closely Stradivari's story intertwines with the city's own history, with its own history of craftsmanship. Just imagine the legacy there, the techniques that were probably passed down. It really sets the stage for his journey.
It's like he was immersed in this world from day one.
Totally.
Yeah, and so, I mean, obviously, we could talk about, the well-known fact that he likely apprenticed under Nicola Amati. But I kind of want to jump into, like, the alternative theory there, the connection to Francesco Ruggeri's work. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a good example of a what-if in history that just really makes you think. And while I think the evidence for Amati's influence is definitely stronger, you've got some researchers who suggest this much closer connection to Ruggeri's style in particular. And, it's kind of a good reminder that history isn't always a straight line, right? Sometimes there's these really tantalizing side paths to kind of go down and explore.
Like a choose-your-own-adventure history edition.
Right.
But no matter his exact training, Stradivari clearly dedicated himself to this craft. And I mean, we're not talking like a few years here. We're talking a career that spanned roughly 75 years.
I know. It's astounding to think about, really. I mean, imagine honing any skill for that long, constantly refining it, experimenting. It really speaks to a level of dedication that's almost unheard of.
Yeah, and speaking of experimentation, when people think Stradivari, they usually go straight to violins.
Right, and for good reason.
Right.
That's what he's best known for.
But he actually crafted, a whole range of instruments, really, within the string family.
Oh, absolutely. He made cellos, he made violas, he even made guitars, harps, you name it.
Wow.
Which tells us that his mastery, his understanding, wasn't limited to just one type of instrument. It was really this, much broader understanding of sound and construction across the entire string family.
Okay, so we've established he was prolific, he was multi-talented.
Yeah.
But what was it that made his instruments, especially the violins, so special? Like, was it some secret formula? Was it the wood he was using? What was the key?
If only it were that simple. It's really more about this deep, deep understanding of both design and materials than, any one secret ingredient. For example, the way that he used what are called inner forms to shape his instruments,
Okay.
that actually differed from the French method of using outer forms. And it suggests this really nuanced approach to thinking about how the wood is shaped and how that ultimately impacts the sound.
Interesting. So it wasn't just about the wood itself. It was about how he actually molded it, shaped it.
Exactly. And here's where I think it gets even more intriguing, is that the number of forms that Stradivari used over his career suggests that he was constantly experimenting, constantly tweaking the dimensions of his instruments. It's almost as if he wasn't content with finding like a single perfect design. He kept pushing, kept searching for that ideal sound.
Always striving.
Exactly.
Always trying to reach something more.
Yes.
And then, of course, on top of that, you have the materials themselves. What kind of wood did he tend to use?
Well, Stradivari definitely had an eye for selecting the right wood for the job. He often favored spruce for the tops of his instruments, which is known for its resonant qualities. And then for the inner structure, he frequently used willow, which is really interesting. It's a very flexible wood, but it's also very strong.
Oh, wow.
And then for the back, the ribs, and the neck of the instrument, he often opted for maple, which is prized for both its hardness and its ability to project sound.
It's like a recipe for like sonic excellence.
Right.
And then, of course, there's this period, his famous golden period, roughly from 1700 to 1725. And the instruments from this era are considered to be like, the pinnacle of his craft.
Yeah, and I think rightfully so. It seems like it was during this time that all of his choices, the materials he was using, the techniques that he had refined over the years, all of his experimentation, it all kind of came together to create these truly exceptional instruments. And I don't just mean, beautifully crafted. They really were sonically superior in a lot of ways.
And that kind of leads us to the heart of the debate, right?
It does.
Which is, do Stradivarius instruments actually sound better? I mean, there are people who swear by it.
They do.
But then there's all those blind listening tests that kind of tell a slightly more complicated story.
Exactly.
What's your take?
Oh, they really do. I mean, it's a question that's captivated the music world for centuries, really.
And those blind listening tests?
Yeah.
They just kind of throw another wrench in the whole thing.
They really do. They really do.
It's fascinating to me how far back they go, too. I mean, I was reading that even back in the 1800s, people were trying to figure out if you could actually tell if it was a Strad just based on the sound.
Oh, absolutely.
Got
And
it.
it wasn't just like a 19th century thing either. I mean, the most well-known tests happened in 1977.
Okay.
BBC Radio 3 did it.
Wow.
And they got all these world-class violinists, experts, and they had them blindly compare a Stradivarius to a bunch of other violins, including a modern one.
Right.
And the results were, well, not what a lot of people expected.
Let me guess, they couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Really?
Very few of the instruments were actually identified correctly.
Yeah.
And to make it even more interesting, a 20th century violin was actually mistaken for the Strad.
Oh, wow. So does that debunk this whole thing then?
Well, not so fast. As intriguing as the results of these tests are, they're not without their critics, right?
Yeah.
Some people argue that, a lot of these tests aren't truly blind. There could be these subtle cues, whether it's the way an instrument feels in a player's hands, how it responds, things that could be subconsciously impacting them.
That makes sense. It's like when you walk into a bakery and they've got the smell of fresh bread going.
Yeah.
You're already kind of biased, right?
Definitely.
Ooh, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, and then, on top of that, just the idea of judging sound objectively is really difficult to do.
Oh, yeah.
The acoustics of the room, your own personal preferences as a listener, even your mood that day.
Wow, I hadn't thought about that.
All of that comes into play,
It's like trying to judge a painting, I guess.
Yeah.
Just based on its colors.
Yeah.
But not taking into account the composition, the brush strokes,
Yeah,
the
right.
emotion it evokes.
Right, exactly. And then you also have the psychological element, too. A musician who believes they're playing a Stradivarius might actually play with more confidence,
Well, that's interesting.
more nuance, which in turn, of course, affects how the instrument sounds.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy almost.
In a way, it is. Yeah, you really can't underestimate the power of perception. But even with all that said, there's no denying that Stradivarius instruments are incredibly valuable.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're talking millions of dollars here.
Millions.
So is it all about the sound? Or is there something else at play?
That's the question, isn't it? Because, I mean,
yeah.
Clearly there's something about them that captivates people.
Totally.
Collectors, musicians.
Yes.
That goes way beyond just the sound itself.
Absolutely. I mean, I think a huge part of it is the history, the rarity, just the sheer craftsmanship that you're looking at. Owning a Stradivarius, it's almost like owning a piece of musical history.
It's like having a Rembrandt in your living room.
Exactly.
Like this priceless piece of art.
Yeah. And speaking of priceless, I mean, these instruments, they've fetched some absolutely jaw-dropping amounts at auction.
Oh, I know. What are some of the notable ones that you were looking at?
Let's see. Well, back in 1990, there was the Mendelssohn, which is a violin.
Okay.
That one sold for $1.77 million.
Wow.
Then in 2005, you had the Lady Tenant, which went for $2.03 million.
Okay.
But I think the one that takes the cake, the Lady Blunt, which sold for a staggering $15.9 million.
Wow. In 2011.
2011.
That's That's more than some museums are worth.
It is. It is.
I mean, it's incredible how they've just continued to go up in value.
And it's not just even about the price tag, though, you know? I mean, the Lady Blunt, it actually had this really cool historical connection.
Oh, what's that?
It was once owned by Lord Byron's family.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's those kind of stories, too, that I think really add to the allure.
It's like they have their own journey.
They do.
Like, through time.
They really do.
So, okay, we've talked about, the sound debate, the history, the value. But, I mean, it still begs the question, why? Why are these instruments so special? Like, if science can't even pinpoint one specific thing,
right?
What are some of the more, prominent theories that are out there?
Yeah, and that's where it gets, I think, even more interesting. One theory focuses on something called the Little Ice Age,
Okay.
which was this period of cooler temperatures in Europe, and it actually coincided with Stradivari's lifetime.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. How does a colder climate affect violins?
Well, it all comes back down to the wood.
Okay.
So during these colder periods, trees actually grow more slowly, which results in denser wood.
Makes sense.
Tighter growth rings. And this denser wood, according to the theory, has these really unique acoustic properties.
Oh, interesting.
That really contribute to that Stradivarius sound.
So he could have just, unknowingly benefited from, a climate fluke, basically.
It's entirely possible.
Wow.
But, that's just one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Because some researchers, they think that it might have actually been the chemical treatments that they used on the wood back then.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so what kind of chemical treatments are we talking?
Well, one researcher, his name is Joseph Ruggeri.
Okay.
He's actually dedicated his whole career to this. He's got this theory that Stradivari treated his wood with this whole cocktail of different substances.
Oh, wow. Like what?
Like borax, fluorides. I get this. Chromium salt.
Chromium salts, out of a chemistry set?
I know, right?
Wow.
So the idea is that these treatments, especially when you combine them with how they used to store wood, they think maybe he submerged it in the canals in Venice.
Oh, wow.
That this whole process could have actually changed the wood's cellular structure, its resonance, everything.
Wow. It's like a secret recipe.
Right.
Passed down.
Yes.
So, I mean, with all of our technology, all of our advancements today, could we recreate a Stradivarius?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, even if we could perfectly replicate the wood, the treatments, the climate, there's still this one crucial element that's missing.
Yeah, you're making me think. It's not just about recreating the instrument itself.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
We can try to replicate the wood, the varnish, even the climate that it was made in. But the one thing that you just can't replicate is Stradivari's hand.
Right.
His artistry.
Right.
The intuition that he developed over literally decades of working with these materials.
It's like, you can have a machine print of a painting.
Right. Exactly. There's just this intangible magic, I think, to those handcrafted instruments. And maybe that's part of the allure.
Yeah.
It's the artistry, it's the history, it's the scientific mystery all wrapped up into one.
It really is fascinating to think that with everything we have today, all of our advancements, there's some things we can't replicate.
It's kind of a humbling thought, really.
It really is. So we've explored, the history, the craftsmanship. We talked science a bit, the sound debate, which, will it ever be settled? I don't know.
Yeah.
But what do you think the biggest takeaway is for today? If you could leave our listener with just one thought about all this, what would it be?
I think it really comes down to this. A Stradivarius instrument, it's more than just a collection of wood and varnish, right? It's a testament to human ingenuity, to this pursuit of excellence, and to the enduring power of artistry. And whether or not you believe that they sound better, there's just no denying that these instruments, they hold this really unique place in our collective imagination.
I love that. Yeah, it's a great reminder that there are some things in life that, like a Stradivarius violin, they just transcend, I think, a simple explanation.
They really do. And
they invite us, really, to appreciate, the mystery, the craftsmanship, the stories behind them.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe someday, science will have a definitive answer, right?
Right.
Okay, we've cracked the code of the Stradivarius sound.
Right.
But until then, we're left with this sense of wonder and the debate and this incredible legacy of a true master craftsman.
And you know what? Isn't that part of the fun?
It really is. It's been such a pleasure kind of diving into all this with you today.
Likewise.
And for everyone listening, we'll leave you with this thought. If you had the chance to hold a Stradivarius violin in your hands, feel those curves, hear that sound, resonate in a concert hall, would you question the legend?
Right.
Or would you just close your eyes and let the music, take you somewhere else?
That's a great question.
Well, until next time, keep exploring.